Soldier One Studios, and Todd Medina Facebook. Those will get the most comments. You pick those two. Here we go. I see us. There we wait, that's not us. Yeah.
You want me to just do it on my phone, hon?
You could do it on both. You could have
All right, so
here we go. I see Mary McKenzie. There it goes. All right. Yeah, it's live.
I think I need to do it on my phone because I can't.
You need to see this full size.
Well, I think I'd rather do it on my phone. I'm used to doing it that way.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, you are live. You are live. This reality TV in the Milky Way.
Say hi, Tom.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Okay, hold on a second, because I'm gonna find. Yeah, and see, I don't see it on.
Just refresh. No, just go to Todd Medina on Facebook and go to Soldier One Studios on YouTube. You just go back and forth, so you guys can get some comments and some questions and all that.
There we are.
Okay, I'm bowing out now. I'm going to record this for backup in case the network system doesn't do it, which it normally does very well.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to Metaphysical Meltdown.
Hello. It's Mary Beckman from Metaphysical Meltdown. Oh, I got some feedback. Nope. Well, here we are. We're slightly late. But anybody that I've been communicating with today is not going to be surprised that we had a little bit of issues today. I told somebody my class was today, and of course we all know it's not. It's tomorrow. And then I went on and said August 22nd. It's really October 22nd, and that was two different situations. And there I was at the Amish market today, and I had the brain tonic in my hand. I had it in my hand. Did I buy it? No. I bought the arnica for $6, which is good because a couple days ago, Tom, my husband, beamed me right in the head with an oat treat. He didn't mean to. I said, will you hand me one of those oat treats? I couldn't, he goes, it was right there. Nah, it hit me right here. It did not hit my third eye, but it did raise a big knot. So now I'm ready with the arnica. He felt really bad, but it was hilarious. And I laughed for a long time, even though it really hurt. So here we are, Metaphysical Meltdown. And I'm not kidding you. We're going to have a great time today. And my friend, Mary McKenzie, I keep telling you guys, I have a whole lot of wonderful people that I know that are cool with coming on with me. We're going to be on every other week on Astrology. And I'll tell you who's coming up. We're also going to do some clearing. Today, I am watching you in real live, so I can see some comments. And sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Everybody, if you can please go to Astrology Network and become a member so you can see all the wonderful content that Todd and everybody is putting out right now. Lots of folks are doing content all day long on Astrology Network. Also, you can probably on Astrology itself, all kinds of good stuff on there too. And Soul Speaks 5D, I've been on maybe 3 times. Tom and I were on that, and we had a great time. And so I really want to support those guys because they're doing such good work right now. So this is my friend Mary McKenzie, and she is amazing. I have spoken to her lots of times in this sort of situation on Metaphysical Meltdown. I think, I don't know, maybe 3 times this time, maybe. I can't remember, but there she is from Seattle, Washington, and we want to welcome her today. So welcome, Mary. After all that, there you go.
Hi.
Well, we don't want to worry about the brain. We really don't. We want to worry about the brain, but please don't, because we're just being rewired. It's a new day every freaking day, man. And today I was, in central Pennsylvania, there's nothing but cornfields and cows when you get in a certain place. And I've only been here. It's like, wow, look at those cows. Why are they all standing there? So here's these cows. They're all like witches doing, And there's this guy across the street. He's talking to them, and they got big horns. So I came home and I'm Googling cows. There's a lot of cows, kids. There's a lot of styles of cows out there. And I aim to photograph a lot of them because there's nothing but beautiful stuff right now in central Pennsylvania. So if you follow me on Facebook or Insta or one of those places, I'm going to go to other places. But and heck, let's just get right into it with Mary. I've got 2 pieces of paper, dude. So I have a bunch of stuff. So she is going to tell us about Samhain and her work. So I'm just going to hand it over to you, Mary. Can you tell me and everybody else out there a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do?
Well, I'm a Wiccan high priestess. What that means is I practice modern witchcraft. And I have been in the craft for almost 40 years now.
40
let's
years?
see. Yeah.
Holy
Yes. I'm 58, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm just about on. It's been about 38 to 40 years, somewhere around there. So let's see. I started in the craft just on my own, and then when I was in my early 20s, I met a woman who was wanting to start a coven, and it was all women. And her tradition, what we in Wicca or witchcraft, when you say tradition, it's the flavor of witchcraft that you're practicing. And her tradition was Celtic, most specifically Celtic of the British Isles, because the Celts were all over. They were in Europe, they were in Russia, everywhere. But the insular Celts were in the British Isles. And that's what she was practicing. And so I was interested in that, as my background, ancestry background is all English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, French. So she accepted me into the coven. And so I started to study with her. And that was really, really my introduction into Wicca or witchcraft at that point. I had done a little bit when I was younger, but it was all just experimenting and dabbling. And this was the real thing. She had quite a background. She'd studied with people in Ireland. And that was quite an experience. I was with her for about a year. And then I moved on to another group that was more co-ed. There were men and women. They were also Celtic background. And that's where I got introduced to, more officially, the Celtic gods and goddesses that I still work with in my tradition. And that group was the group where I received my initiations. There are usually 3, to be able to get me to my high priestessship and thus be able to pass it on. In Wicca, your first initiation is, yes, I'm a witch. I know this. Your second is, I know this and that I can teach this. And the third is usually, I know this, I can teach this, and I can be a leader in the community. Which most people don't get that far because they don't want to do that, because it's a lot of work and responsibility. Mm-hmm. I started my own, I moved up here to Washington State. This all happened in Southern California. I'm originally from Southern California. Moved up here to Washington. And that was in 1994, 1995. And was practicing what we call solitary. I wasn't part of any groups, but started meeting the people up here in the state. It took me about 8 years to meet different groups and work with different groups. And so that was interesting. When you're in the craft, it's always good to expand your horizons and be a part of different groups if you're invited, if they have open events, to go to them, because it's always something new and it's something different, and it's always a different vibe and a new way to learn how to be in the craft and to feel the energies, because Wicca or modern witchcraft is all about feeling the earth vibe. We're earth energy people. We work with the earth energies, the elemental energies. That's kind of our thing. So I did eventually start my own coven here. That was also in, I would say that was probably in 2005, 2006. And I sent many people through their, what we call a year and a day, so that they could become that first degree witch. Most of them kind of stopped there. A couple people went a little farther. There was one gentleman that really wanted to help me a lot in the coven itself, because my husband was not as interested in that particular form of paganism. He was pagan, but he practiced differently. So he would join in on our group celebrations, but he was not a partner to me. He was not my priest. And so, but this other guy wanted to do that. So I kind of took him all the way. It took him 9 years to really gather all the information and wisdom that he wanted to become my high priest. And I did eventually initiate him. And our kind of claim to fame here in the Seattle area was from, I'd say, probably about 2010, 2011 to 2017. We did 2 rituals a year that were public, open to the public. We did a May Day or Beltane that was open to the public, and we had lots of people attend that, and lots of people really enjoyed that, because that's when we encourage bringing children to, because the fairies are just everywhere during that time. And then of course Samhain or Halloween, and that's around this time of the year, and that was more of a somber celebration, because it is focused on celebration of the dead, those who have passed on. And so that was more of an adult only celebration. And so we did that for many years, and it was very popular. Lots of people came to that. Our Samhain celebration especially was very special, because I made sure we focused it specifically on those that passed. In fact, during the year, if we knew of anyone that had any loved ones that passed, we would put their name on a list. And then once we got around to the time of doing our Samhain ritual, we asked them if they wanted to attend, because our ritual is so powerful. Most often they would be able to have the opportunity to actually speak to that person. They would be able to come through the veil, and they would have a last time with them or encounter with them that they may or may not have had at the funeral or memorial that they held for them. So it was really special. We finally released our group in 2019. I initiated my last group of people in 2019, right before the pandemic. And interestingly enough, I was just kind of told, okay, you're done.
Oh, wow.
We do keep in touch. When you form a coven, you're always with those people. They're like your family. So we do keep in touch. We have a little social media group that we chat on, and we exchange information with, mostly astrological stuff, so that we can kind of stay ahead of the game, because we're all empaths and healers. And so doing that helps us to continue to do the work that we do, because when I initiate people, I initiate them as priests or priestesses, and they are healers. They go out into the community and they do their thing. Even if it's just, working at the grocery store, they're always going to have a special light about them, and people will know and feel it. And they'll come to them and they'll ask them questions. And I hear stories all the time from my friends in the coven going, oh, this happened or that happened, and So, but that's kind of where I am now, is I'm just kind of back on my own. I tell people I'm more or less retired. I did take privately 2 gals through last year, did a year and a day, only because I had promised it to them and they really wanted to. And when we felt safe enough after the pandemic had kind of died down enough, we decided to do that. So I did initiate them last year. So they are officially a part of our group. So at this point of the year, I guess we're getting ready to celebrate Samhain. Samhain is an Irish word. It's spelled Samhain. Don't ever try to pronounce Irish the way it's spelled.
No.
Irish Gaelic is really different than English. It essentially is the time of passing, is what it will translate into. And it's the time for the veil to thin. And what that means is it's a time for the other world, which we know in the metaphysical community is the astral world. And this world, it's a little easier to move back and forth through your dreams, through your meditations. You can receive more information easier, quicker. It's also easier for beings that aren't necessarily human, may or may not have been human, to pass back and forth. So it's also wise to protect yourself more during this time, especially if you're very sensitive and you do a lot of spiritual work. So I always tell my group, shields up, guys. You know what to do, you know. So at this time of the year, we're looking at honoring those who have passed. It's the time to give them the space. So it's a time for you to step back and go, okay, is there anything that I can learn from you, from your ancestors? They don't necessarily have to be people that have just recently passed. It can be ancestors from any time period. As we all understand, you know, time is really an illusion. It's more like the layers of an onion than a line. And that's why you can go in and out from any time period and speak to anyone at any time. And so it's a good time to do that if you're seeking healing. And it's become kind of a popular thing now to talk to your ancestors to help you understand why you're doing what you're doing or not doing what you want to be doing. And so
they are always watching, those ancestors, aren't they?
Yes, they're always around. And I've been finding, in what I've been working with, that it's helping me to gain more wisdom and insight as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, and let's see, in the Celtic tradition, the deities, if you want to call them that, the gods, goddesses, higher beings really is what they are, that are around right now, would be anything associated with working the shadow side or moving into or out of the void from one life to the next. And in our tradition, that's the Morrigan. She's an Irish battle goddess who is very experienced with death. And also we work with the god Hearn, the hunter, he's an English version of the horn god, Kiernonos. They are of the same energy. And at Yule, it's the oak king and the holly king. So pagans will understand them that way. And Hearn in his darker aspect is around right now. But both these deities work with helping escort you through the veil, either permanently if you're passing, or if you're moving through to gain inspiration or wisdom or knowledge or something from them, and then coming back here and understanding what that is about. I did a really quick look up on the Morrigan to give a little bit more information about her. She's not as easy to get to know as the other goddesses because she's about your hidden side. So, you know, the funny phrase on a need to know basis.
Yes.
That's kind of the Morrigan. She doesn't tell you things. She wants you to figure it out, but she'll give you hints and help along the way as you're trying to figure it out. And she likes it when you work on trying to do that stuff. She's traditionally in the Irish. She's in 3 aspects, what we call the red, the black, and the white. Those are the 3 colors. The red is the warrior goddess. And she is all about the frenzy and the passion and the energy that comes when you're at war. Because we don't like war. Obviously, all of that's going on right now. There's a lot of war going on right now. But war is about change. It's a harsh mistress of change. It doesn't have to be the way we change, but we're still choosing that. And I think in this particular point in the timeline, we're trying to figure out why we're doing that. And so she's up front and center going, okay, I'll show you. So that's her aspect as the warrior goddess, is understanding your passions. What are your passions for? Because they can be used in anger or they can be used in love. And then we call on the black aspect. The black aspect is when you pass immediately and there's that dark period where you're not in anything. You're in the void. You're in that pass through. You're in that liminal space. And she's there. She's there as a guide, because sometimes if we pass too quickly, tragically, say we have a heart attack, we fall off a cliff or whatever, we can be in danger of losing our way to the light. And so she is a guide. There are other deities that guide also, like the Egyptian god Anubis will do that also. But it's about staying clear and understanding what's happening when you're in that space. And then there's what we call the white Morrigan, and she is the goddess that you will see as you pass into the summer lands, as you're moving into that place of knowing who you really are. At least the beginning stages of it. And then, of course, after that, you know, unless you're Buddha, you don't know after that, you just got to die. And we're not there yet. So I had a very, very interesting and beautiful experience of the white Morrigan when my cat passed away a year ago. I had a dream about a week after she passed. I was taken to the front door of my apartment and I opened it up and I realized that my cat that had passed was at my feet, and she walked out the front door, which she never would have done in real life. She had no interest in being outside, but she walked out and walked right to the stairs that are right at the entrance to my apartment building there. And then she just ran down them, and there was suddenly there was this big field of grass and green and sunshine, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I'm standing at the top of the stairs, and she's already at the bottom, and she looks back at me at the bottom of the stairs, and I can hear her in my head, and she says, "Mama, come on, come with me. You know, I want to take you to where it's beautiful." And I said, "No, honey, I have to stay here. Me and Dylan have to stay here." And she goes, "Okay." And she turns around and runs away. And I was just astounded. And then I realized what was going on was I was seeing the white Morrigan, and she was showing me what is there. And she was also helping me with my grief. over her and letting me know that she was okay. Because we always go through those moments after someone passes, are they okay? Are they okay? And so that was really, really beautiful. But that's what the third aspect of the Morrigan is it's that moving to the light and getting that escort into the light. So
okay, so I've got questions.
Sure.
I've got questions. I've been taking notes. I've got notes all over the place. So we just lost our dog a couple weeks ago, and I could see when he passed, and I was watching him as he went through the different areas. We kind of see it differently. Everybody does, and he got to the part. So first, I see them walk through the Golden River. Then I see them get to, this is everybody. Then I see them get to the Rainbow Bridge. Doggone it, if his partner, so our dog's was a fawn pug that passed away. Doggone it if our dog, the black pug, was not standing there. Now, she gave him heck his whole life. She was alpha to his way down the end of the line. She wouldn't let him have toys. She wouldn't let him have fun. Doggone it if she wasn't there. And I said, oh my gosh, I see all of it. I'm like, is that a good thing or not? And then I saw him just like a couple days ago, and I saw him with a brown, like a Chesapeake Bay Retriever, smaller. So he's got a friend. He's already made a friend over there. It was really awesome. Here's my question about the Morrigan. So I don't identify necessarily as a witch, but I'm sure I was a bunch of times because I have all those guides. All those people are my guides.
Yeah.
I just call myself a universal channel because everybody talks to me. Somebody's antique that'll talk to me. So the other day, so what the holies are doing now that I live here in central Pennsylvania is I have a yard that's right outside my window here in the office, and I channel with my eyes open. Doggone it if everybody's not out in the yard. So I just kind of watch. This is why I'm sitting over here, everybody who keeps telling me to move. I'm always sitting this way so I can see everybody out in the yard. Doggone it if, and I can't give any details because I can't even remember who this was that I read. But I saw the bloodline, and I don't know what I'm saying. And they'll tell you, they will walk you through it because we're just the puny human involved between them and the sitter. I saw the bloodline like a what do you call that when the baby's born? What do you call it? It's the between the baby and the mom, the placenta, like a giant placenta over the top of the sitter. And she came with her axe and she cut it apart. And that's how I met the Morrigan years back, like 3 years back or so. She came in front of me at my table where I was reading, and she put her axe. I didn't know she had anything to do with an axe because I didn't know who she was. Right down in the middle of my table, which got my attention, which I've told you that story before. There she is with the axe again. And so I thought, okay, bloodlines. Now that is really important. This is what we're working on now. And doggone it, if I've seen that a few times just recently. It cleared my bloodline like that. And you're right. I mean, she's not as warm and fuzzy, say, as some of my other guides, but it feels like a relationship of, I mean, she's such deep strength. I just can't even believe it.
Yes.
And when she's there, I'm so relieved because I know somebody's going to get to the heart of whatever that they haven't seen before. I guess I should put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's all about courage and bravery. And, if you're afraid and you don't think you can do it, and she knows you can, she's going to be right there at your back going, you got this. And she will fill you with an energy that you've never felt before. I mean, you feel like that. I bet the only way that I could explain it is that corny little scenario in Harry Potter where Harry gets that little vial of liquid luck, and he downs the liquid luck, and he all of a sudden just feels totally fine, clear, like the liquid luck turns him into a completely clear channel, like he has no fear. The fear completely leaves him. That's what the Morrigan will do for you ultimately, is she will erase that fear out of you, and then you get to feel what it's like to feel pure power in the sense of understanding it from, you know, your deepest passion, you know, the thing that just, you know, makes your heart just race. That's her. That's what that is. It's like, that's the thing you just love the most, more than anything, that just, you just want to run to every single time. And you have no fears, no thoughts, just vibes. That's her. That's that energy of just, because when she's talked about as the battle goddess, she's the warrioress that's standing there with her weapon, and all it's in her mind is fighting for the truth that she believes is the truth, the right thing. Okay. And it's completely pure. There's no doubts at all. Okay. And she's there, and she's just like, she just runs across that battlefield, and she's ready to vanquish whatever doesn't work for that truth that she believes in.
Well,
And that's her. That's the energy
now.
of her.
That's
Yes.
now. And that's why
Yes.
the blue light is so prevalent in the blue light beings, is the truth is rising up. So because over here we have fear. Quack, quack.
Mhm. Yeah.
And over here we have truth, love, truth, love, truth, love. I plan on being over here.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even if we plan on it, we still feel that squidgy, like, am I doing the right thing? Well, how about that? So guess who I saw today? Kernunos, right out there in the
Of
thing.
course.
So
Yeah.
he's part of that class tomorrow. So the class I'm teaching is called listening. They're all listening classes this month. It's listening to the mycelium and the trees. And you would not believe who all came to say hi. And so he was and I hadn't seen him for a long time. And it makes a lot of sense that he is there right now too. Because here we are, you know, we're here, you know, we're getting the harvest in. We're beginning to, you know, go dark a little bit and think of some of this stuff. And, you know, and we are trying to just not get run over by these incredible energies right now. So
Yeah.
the astrology, if I could ask very quickly, because I don't want to forget that, because there's a bunch of stuff kicking our butts right now. And I've been telling people, you know, you might be lying there in bed at night at 1:30 in the morning. That was me last night. I'm like, I don't have anything on my mind. What the hell? Well, I know that's always outside of me. It's probably the earth or whatever. But what is going on in the astrology right now? And I have more to ask.
I'm not an astrologer either, but I can tell you that what I can tell you is that it's also, this October is very powerful because two main things are going on. We have 2 eclipses in 1 month. We just went through the partial solar eclipse. Okay. And that was a big scab ripper.
Yes.
Okay. So if you felt like that, that's what happened. And if you notice what happened globally right about the same time, okay. And then the lunar eclipse is going to kind of have that same effect, but in a more mellow way. It won't be just like, it won't be in your face, but it will be like, oh, okay. And then the other thing that's going on is Pluto, the farthest planet away, the one that's way in the dark, okay, because we're all about the dark right now. But Pluto is the biggest influencer to us in humanity because it's the generational planet. It takes so long for it to move around the sun. It was retrograde for a long time, and in retrograde in Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the big planet of get your shit together, essentially. And for the first thing that happened was it went direct, or it went out of Capricorn and it briefly went into Aquarius, okay, which is gonna be in permanently, well, not permanently, for a very, very long time, very soon. But it popped into Aquarius for just a little while to give everybody a taste of what that's like, because that's a much more humanitarian vibe, okay? But it was still retrograde. So but then it popped back into Capricorn, and then it went direct. Okay. So right now it's still in Capricorn, but it's direct. And essentially it's having that effect of, it's the last street sweeper that's going down the street, cleaning up the rest of it. So if you notice what's going on politically, all of the heavy hitters that were back in the stuff that's not sustainable, let's just put it that way. Okay. They're starting to fall by the wayside. They're starting to weaken, and they're starting to, I read everything faithfully every day because I'm part of the energy that witnesses that for source. So I have to stay on top of that. And it's all those people in situations that were working in a corruptive state. Okay. They're starting to become exposed. They're realizing they can't sustain what they were doing or who they are. So they're starting to fall by the wayside. The darkness is catching up with them, and they can't sustain. So it's somebody the other day in some conversation I was reading, she was saying, "Oh, you're getting the feeling that the rats are leaving the sinking ship." That's a good visualization of this. The ship, and we all know who's driving that ship. He's being weakened on all fronts, and so all of the people and things that supported him are all going okay, and that's all falling apart, and not just in this country but in other countries where there are leaders that are doing the same thing. They were supporting chaos and nothing that had anything to do with sustainable planet, humanity, period. Okay. All of that is falling apart. And that's Capricorn. That's Saturn going, Saturn is about respecting the right thing. And if you don't respect it, it isn't about following it. It's about respecting it. Because if you don't respect it, people don't have dignity. They can't live their lives. And anytime, and I was taught this very specifically in my big high priestessship class, it's like, if you stop somebody's progress in any way, shape, or form, you're wielding black magic and evil. You're a part of evil. You cannot stop someone's progress, and you cannot stop humanity's progress. Anything that's doing that, eventually the void goddess is going to catch up with you and go. So that's what's going on right now. Is Pluto went direct, and then eventually next year, and I believe it's January, February, around that time, Pluto's going to go right into Aquarius. And so we're going to be done with the old man Saturn, and we're going to be moving into that sign of Aquarius, which you understand because you are that. Aquarius is about humanity. And if it doesn't work for the whole, it don't work. Everybody must work as a team here on planet Earth. It's great to have your individual cultures, beliefs, traditions, or whatever, but they're not allowed to separate us as a human species. And that's really, really important to understand. And so everything that supports that is just going to get a huge kick up next year. It's in Chinese astrology, it's going to be a wood dragon year. We're going to be right now we're in a water rabbit year, which is really psychic and somewhat murky, and it's helping us who are sensitive to finally do all the cleaning. We're in the, for the lack of a better way of saying this, we're behind the toilet, cleaning behind the toilet. We're all those places that are really yucky right now. We're cleaning those out so that we can be.
I think I'm
clear. Next year's going to be a very yang year as opposed to yin. It's going to be very outward and sun and moving that energy out.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been testing. I test everybody. And some of the ones that people think are movers and shakers, I'm going to put it up to the light here. That's their energy right there. There's
Mhm.
nothing. And there's going to be people seeing this show that are sure their people are
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And soon we're going to see that that is the same bird with two wingy dingies. I'm sorry to tell you, but you've heard that a million times on the show. But sorry everybody. Let's go. Let's all go have like a hot pocket after that. But seriously, I'm not eating those hot pockets. Gluten free, man. But seriously, give yourself a present this year, and it's almost my anniversary. And I asked for two presents this anniversary. But if it's your anniversary coming up or it's your birthday, ask for a pendulum and learn how to use it. It's going to save your life. Because there's a lot of people now that are of the quack quack, and as soon as I hear them talking, I'm like, my gosh, that is just it's so negative. I can't do
Yeah.
it. And it's just
Yeah.
it's just showing
Yeah.
up right now. And it's not saying that I'm, Pollyanna person or positive possum all the time, but seriously, we can try to stay in a little bit of find your happiness right now as much as you possibly can. So we are getting close to having our time run out. We're going to hear the voice of God here pretty soon, stopping us. And so there's a few things I want to do. First of all, I'm going to go through all this and make sure that I have not missed anything. I want to do just a quick amount of time. I like to reset everybody's energy. If you guys are interested, I'm just flowing at the light. Whatever you get is you. You're gonna do. It's not really me. It's resetting. It's just me flowing the light. I like to do that. I hope I have enough time to do that. And I do believe I've asked for everything. But before we do it, while people are still awake, and you're not going to be out of it. You're just going to be more relaxed when we get done. Can you please tell us how we can find you?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on Facebook just as my name, but if you want to find me on Facebook, just if you're friends with Mary Beckman, I'm friends with her, so you can find me on her friends list. I'm also on Instagram as Miniature Witch, and it's all one word. It's the word miniature, and then witch is spelled Wytche. So you could find me there.
Awesome.
And my website is on both Facebook and Instagram. I encourage you to click on the link for my website because that will tell you everything I do. Because I do read tarot. I also teach tarot. I was going to try to do a class this year, but I ended up doing so much personal work on myself. I'm just like, no, I think I'm going to let this go till next year. So we'll see. I also need to get a new job next year. So it'll be interesting to see how I work all that out. But yeah, you can find me there. And I also do energy clearings. I do house wardings and blessings. I'm also an ordained minister. I can do weddings. I can marry you. I am not currently running a coven, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions about the craft. I love answering questions. I love newbies and people that are just starting out. If you have any questions about Wicca or witchcraft at all, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. But I'm available for tarot card readings. I do a lot of different psychic fairs, and I always try to let people know what fairs I'm doing on Facebook and Instagram. So you can find me at those. I'm also available online. I just got Zoom on my new computer, so I do Zoom readings too. So yeah, that's how you can find me.
Beautiful. Thank you. And that's how I found her, everybody. I didn't know her from Adam and Eve. And there she was in that awesome energy. And been about 5 or 6 years that I've known her. And I'm happy to know you. Okay, everybody, close your eyes. Take your hands and feet apart. Just going to blow out the energy really quick. Then you guys can go have a yum after you're done. Drink a bunch of water. Okay, closing your eyes, please. Hands and feet apart. Visualize, please, that you'll be walking on to the selenite grid. Walk barefoot. Walk a few steps. Go up into your selenite crystal bowl. It's a big singing bowl, big as a house. Put your feet on a pair of 8s. Now see an 8 in between. Call yourself back into polarity. Very good. We call in your guides, guardians, teams of light, highest self, highest aspects, inner child, subconscious, our beautiful guides from the other side, and our ancestors, holy ones, our teams of light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We call in the golden columns of light, the stargate. We call in the violet flame, call in the blue light, holy ones, and so it is. Holy ones, this is a quickie, and we're just asking for tons of support for clearing. And when I look at their energy, they are now about a fast 6. They were not very fast 4 when we first looked at you guys, and everybody coming in, and we just want to just go ahead and send beautiful energy for a nice sleep tonight, everybody. Holy ones, how many codes for everybody today? We're going to start with 3. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? These are healing codes from Art of Your Energy, the Art of Your Energy, which is my creation through spirit. It's a book. It's a bunch of classes. So we go to 100. So we begin at 69 to 75, 75 to 80, 80 to 85, 80, 81, 82, 83. Release now. Overwhelm. Number 83. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 69 to 75, 75 to 80, 80 to 85, 85 to 90, 90 to 95, 91, 92, 93. The new earth, rebirth, number 93. Okay, well done. Now, 1, 2, 3. 69 to 75, 75 to 80, 80 to 85, 85 to 90, 90 to 95, 95 to 100. Freedom, walk away. Okay, now releasing anger, because freedom walk away is about releasing anger. Releasing anger now in the 0-point field. Releasing anger in the 0-point field. So everybody say it out loud. I call myself back. Body, mind, spirit, and emotions. Clearing grief now. Grief release. And the hand is up. Do not open your eyes. Oh, yeah, you guys increased to a ton. Okay, open your eyes now. Come on back, everybody. Your energy has increased about 3 times. Looking good, looking good. Can you feel it, Mary? I can feel it. That's a really quick one, because I don't know if anybody's coming in after us. There's people all the time on Astrology. Please try to support Astrology Network. If you haven't done so, it's a wonderful program. Support Todd and his group, and we love you, everybody. And thank you so much, Mary McKenzie. M-A-R-I is me, Mary Beckman. M-A-R-Y is Mary McKenzie. You can find her through me. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.